Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, dear Fleet. Aren't we grateful for Fleet?
Yeah.
The Crown Prince of Palm Springs. I just love how it works. It just works beautifully. And I usually have glasses on my pulpit. I don't today, so I'm calling on the angels. Oh, good. Okay, see, you are my angel. Okay, they're not, but you know what? I'm calling on the angels of vision. And so I'm going to read you. I thought I wanted to start out with Emmett Fox today. And he wrote this wonderful little prose. And he says, there is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that enough love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open, no gulf that enough love will not bridge, no veil that enough love will not throw down, no sin that enough love will not redeem. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient amount of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the strongest, most powerful person in the world. If we could love enough. My topic today is the law of love. We know that in the Science of Mind textbook by Dr. Ernest Holmes, he states, love points the way, and law makes the way possible. That there is a cause and effect relationship in the universe. Love points the way. It is the law of love that opens the space to allow us to arise in a way that we have never quite arisen before. And in making that declaration every single day of our lives, we know there's a spirit, mind, and body relationship. It's that sacred trinity in the New Thought movement, isn't it? The spirit that goes before us and prepares the way. The mind that opens for receptivity, to grow, to unfold, to expand. And the body, which is the temple of the living God. When I was on tour in India, I went to the oldest temple in India, in Tamil Nadu. And it was absolutely magnificent. And the tour guide, very, very tuned in, he said, we have a trinity here in Hinduism. It's Brahma. Brahman is the creator of the universe. It's Vishnu, the protector of the universe, and Shiva, the destroyer of the universe, because we know that in that destruction there is a recreation process. The rose what? Sheds its petals back into the earth. So do we go back into the earth, but we take that bit of ectoplasm, that soul stuff with us that allows us to reincarnate lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. I know we have soul recognitions. We have people that we immediately embrace and we think, oh, you know, it's like we've known each other all our lives. We've felt that way, haven't we? And there are just those that we do not vibrate. It's not a vibrational match. There's no chemistry there. It's just the way it is. And it's not good and it's not bad. But there are those that are in the energy field that we feel an immediate connection with. We feel that immediate love, acknowledging that there's a soul connection here. And that the power of love can heal anything. Absolutely anything. And believe me, in the 40 years of my ministry, and I have counseled hundreds of people. And I've had a young woman who came to me and she needed a liver transplant. And I said, we're going to speak our word into the law of mind. Liver represents, when it flares up, it's anger. It's resentment. It's like unhealed stuff that comes up to get our attention. It's not bad and it's not good. It's just our experience. And when we get it that it's our experience, we can open the space to say, hey, I'm going to heal this. I'm going to learn something through this experience. And so we would sit and we would treat. Now, we treat in our way of life. A spiritual treatment is a positive prayer of alignment. It's already acknowledging that we are perfect, complete, and whole. We're not asking, we're not begging, we're not bargaining, an anthropomorphic God in the sky. We are speaking our word into the law of mind. We are opening to love. We are opening to the energy that founded this universe in that first God thought of love. And when we open that space, something happens. Something happens. And so as we treated, and we knew the truth, and there was a long line of people who needed livers, and she was up for a transplant. And I remember receiving a call, and she said, "My liver is here." And she went in, she had a liver transplant, and she was in the AA program, and she'd been in AA for a long time, but she just totally soaked her liver with cirrhosis of the liver. They took that liver out, they put a new liver in, and she arose in that energy field, and she came through it to the other side. And when she came through to the other side, that her life was so transformed, her life was so amazing after that. She healed all the unfinished business. She healed the reasons of looking outside ourselves and feeling unloved and unworthy. And when we look outside ourselves and we're not feeling the love, we're feeling disconnected from the love. If you don't feel close to God, guess who moved? That God presence is within us. And as we open to it, it's been there all along. We acknowledge that it's right where we are, that the heart is the doorway to the soul. And she had a complete healing with medical science, and we bless medical science, because there is an energy there that allows us, when we need it, to go to that next level in our physical beingness. So as we look at love, and then we experience love, and we acknowledge that you can have faith and you can have hope, but if you have not love, you are sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal, that we must have love. We can have all the gifts in the universe, the gift of prophecy, the gift of tongues, the Ecclesiastes tells us, but unless we have love, we're a sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. We need to open our heart to love. And it doesn't mean we like what's going on. We don't have to like what's going on, but to realize underneath that there is an energy and a foundation that allows us to arise to that. I have a colleague who wrote a book looking in for number one. Looking in for number one. Not looking out for number one. Looking in for number one. And he said, I have a confession to make. I went and saw a movie, Dumb and Dumber. And he said, and I also have to confess that I enjoyed it. That there were two metaphysical principles in that. And that Jim Carrey played a character named Lloyd, and he was in love with a girl named Mary, and so madly in love with her. And so he said, "Mary, do I have any chance at all? Do I have like 1 in 10 chance?" She said, "More like 1 in a million." And she looked at him, he got kind of weird looking. And then he said, "Oh, I still have a chance." And he said that no matter how it looks, that he'd love that, because even 1,000,001, I still have a chance at life. And what I know is that love is powerful and courageous, that it takes great courage to be loving in the face of those things that no longer serve us and that are in our face. Have you ever gone to the productions, In Your Face productions, where everything in your life just comes right up, right here, right now? It's called In Your Face Productions. It's right there. You cannot deny it. It's just shown up in your life so that you have to look at it. And when the In Your Face production shows up, right then and right there, it gets our attention. What am I to learn from this? And I open my heart to love myself. Because unless I love myself, I'm really not going to love anyone else. The Bible presupposes, when Jesus said, "Love thy neighbor as thyself," what? As thyself, that I can't love my neighbor any more than I love myself. So as I love myself, as I'm compassionate with myself, as I go within to forgive myself for the mistakes, that for every breakdown there's a breakthrough, and for every setback there's a setup. That Dr. Dombrowski, a very famous psychiatrist of note, said that every nervous breakdown is a gift, because it allows the patient to go within and to see what was no longer working or what they were afraid of, and to begin to recreate their life. So with the breakdown, there was a breakthrough in consciousness to come out on the other side. And that when we come out on the other side, we come out enriched. We acknowledge that there is the Brahman principle of life. It is the creator of the universe. That Vishnu, the protector of the universe, is within us. It is that place that sets healthy boundaries. It is that place that knows that it knows that it knows that God and I are the majority. And that in this cause and effect relationship, it's not there so we can flagellate ourselves and beat ourselves up with New Age guilt. I mean, how many people in my life, in the 40 years I've been doing this, that say, well, you know, they're experiencing this, that, or the other. I wonder what's in their consciousness. Well, it's really none of their damn business what's in their consciousness. It's about our business to go within to see what's on our consciousness, that we're going to judge somebody else for what's in their consciousness. So as we go within to see what's in our consciousness, we have compassion for the human condition. We give a hand up, not a handout. My husband taught 5th grade in a Title I school in Pacoima, English as a second language. And he would have them collect tin cans so that they could take themselves to Magic Mountain. That they did this themselves. It empowered them. It allowed them to feel that they were worthy and deserving and that they did it themselves. And he took them to a rodeo once. And the rodeo announcer said, and we want to acknowledge Neil Stroud from the Pacoima Elementary School, 5th grade, for all the disadvantaged children that are here. Neil got out of that seat and he ran up there and he said, I want to acknowledge all the advantaged children, those that are advantaged, that brought themselves here, that made a difference. And he would not allow that announcer to announce to those kids that they were disadvantaged. He wouldn't allow it, because the truth is that power that's within us is everywhere present on the planet. And when I came out of a restroom at the airport in Chennai, there was a little Indian woman laying on a mat that she would clean the bathrooms, and I guess she was taking a little break. And I laid 1,000 rupees, which is only 20 bucks, kind of under her mat, and I didn't, I was kind of creeping out. I wanted her to awaken with this little gift, like from God, the gods, right? Lakshmi is alive and well, the goddess of wealth. And as I'm creeping out, she sat up, and I heard namaste, and she bowed so beautifully, with so much love, so much grace, so much receiving, so much appreciation. I mean, I had tears in my eyes. And I felt, there, but for the grace of God, go I. That how many of us have felt so tired at times, and I don't use that word, that we lay down on a mat at the end of a restroom. I mean, it was just amazing to me. And that as we begin to regenerate the human condition, what happens? Ernest Holmes says the tiredness goes away and we have a new lease on life. So never say that you're tired, because that moves to a lower vibratory frequency. We tell ourselves what we want to do. We want to regenerate. We want to open the space of feeling the recreation of energy. And it's interesting, it was 13 and a half hours time zone. And I've been making that adjustment and waking up at all hours that you can imagine, and going through some sniffles and some, little things that we go through when we come back and we enter into a new plane. And, I heard, things are going on in interfaith, and for us to gather as the 2 or 3 gather together and know the truth for each other, and know that the truth arises triumphant and victorious. And that the woman that was here from Canada, she said, I just love your community. I have been all over the world. My husband's an engineer. He was there. And you remember them. And she said, never have I been to a community like this. And a speaker like you. And I said, well, I love what I do, and I do what I love. I also do my work. For 40 years, I don't go out on Saturday night. That's not my night to go out. I go within. I have a date with destiny. I read certain things that inspire me, that I open the space. What else can I learn? I'm on the earth plane. I found that, my 70s are heavenly. And that if we're learning something new all the time, that keeps us young. It keeps us vibrant and alive in the courage of our conviction. I loved it. Many years ago, I read a quote from Indira Gandhi. She said, "If I die today, every drop of my blood will invigorate the nation." I thought, wow, to have that kind of conviction. If I die today, every drop of my blood will invigorate the nation. God and I are the majority. I know from whence I cometh and whither I goeth. And believe me, we didn't enter any temple without taking off our shoes. And you had to take your shoes off at the foot of the steps, not once you got up there. And when we went into the Hindu, they're like little alcoves for a Hindu blessing by the priest. And he has the bowl of oil and flowered leis and the wonderful flower for the third eye to awaken our eye of intuition, the pineal gland that has that ability to see through the appearances, the conditions, and the effects of life. I love that. If thine eye be opened, thy whole being is filled with light. Thy whole being is filled with love. Thy whole being is filled with peace. Sidney Poitier said that when he was 15 years old, he came to this country. And when he came to this country, he said he didn't know how to read. And there was an old Jewish man at the Waldorf Astoria where he washed dishes that sat down with him every single night at 11 p.m. and they read the newspaper. And he said he taught him how to read by reading the newspaper. He said, I don't know if he's dead or alive, but there is something in me of him in everything I do. There is something of him in everything I do. He touched me, I grew, I unfolded. And he said, when I unfolded, a whole world opened up for me in amazing ways. That there are those angels of love that will sit down with us and make sure that we get what we need and that our needs are met. And when we put that out in love and we acknowledge that there is no difficulty that enough love will not open. There is no door that enough love will not open. There is no sin that enough love will not redeem. There is no bridge that enough love will not open. If we could love enough, we would be the strongest, most powerful beings in the world if we could love enough. So today, let's open the space, let's draw the larger circle, and include what is there in love. Because where are we going? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. And so it is.